I recently joined a Bigfoot research group on an expedition part 2. Beliefs regarding Bigfoot. The beliefs on what Bigfoot is also varied. But everyone seemed to be open-minded from what I could see. Some were staunch about Bigfoot being a physical creature. They acknowledge that paranormal stuff could exist, but to them, that's not Bigfoot. This was mostly the more experienced, serious researchers, and most of them had close-up experiences and they all had seen physical evidence. A couple of people there believe that Bigfoot is a spiritual, paranormal being. And there is nothing physical about him. Some said that they talk to Bigfoot and it talks back. You could tell this view was looked down upon, so not many would openly express it. But it's not like anyone actually got angry or anything. But here is what is interesting. A few of the Bigfoot physical group who have had their own experiences also mentioned Bigfoot encounters that would be considered more paranormal in nature. Example: getting zapped. Getting pushed off of stuff when there doesn't seem to be anything physically around, etc. And a few had also experienced just outright non-Bigfoot paranormal things like floating lights and stuff. And a few of them refer to Bigfoot as a he, which I think is very interesting. So, I found that interesting. Cool. Are you or any of the other participants also search and rescue members? Earth scavenger. Yes, some of them are, which impressed me tremendously. I also wish I had availed myself of their help earlier. Literally, an hour into the trip while we were setting up our tent, I got stung by a bee 3 times actually. I didn't think much of it because it's a bee sting. So, I didn't do much about it for the first couple of days. It made the trip a big slog, but again, it's a bee sting. What's the big deal? Well, the second night, my arm swelled up, and I was in pretty bad pain. Long story short, they noticed my arm was swollen during a first aid presentation, ironically, and jumped into action and gave me something. If I had told them about it the first day, I probably would have been fine. But, lesson learned. What methodology did you use to search for Bigfoot? Shoes of wandering. The main idea seemed to be to take advantage of Bigfoot's sense of curiosity. Primarily, we went to spots where they had previously vetted and had experiences before and sat in a circle so we could watch each other's backs, literally. We usually had thermal and night vision that we passed around. We would speak softly, but act naturally and talk amongst ourselves. We had one person write down everything that happened. Sounds heard, things seen. How people felt and what times and conditions when those things occurred. We would then meet every morning to share those notes and see if anything overlapped. Some groups would only sit and wait. Some would play recordings of whoops, some members would give their own vocal whoops. When this was done, it was called on the radio beforehand. So everyone knew. And a group stayed at the camp to maintain the radios, guard the camp, and record anything that happened near them. It made sense to me. I thought it was a solid idea and better than walking through the woods, trying to find a purported creature that is extremely elusive and cautious of humans. I do feel that there needs to be a bit more standardization on how to define, categorize sounds so it isn't left up to interpretation. I also would have loved to see a map of our locations and maybe some sticky notes. Or markings showing where we were when stuff happened so we can see any patterns right away. I was also a bit shocked by the lack of video equipment. There were some researchers who had cameras and audio recorders and they were low-key about it. So, it's not like there wasn't any. But I thought they would be at least similar to me 360 cameras and audio recorders, especially given how inexpensive they can be. They had thermal and night vision that also recorded, true. But I felt like a $200, 360 GoPro would be something very good to have. Also, my first thought at the chairs in a circle sitting in the pitch dark was, kinda feels like a seance. But, again, it seemed like a decent method. This is what kinda threw me off a little. I had asked beforehand how we were going to search, and I was under the impression we were going to do the walking through the woods looking for something method. I actually designed my equipment around that. I have also had some reservations about that method. But, when it turned out we weren't following that method, my primary camera didn't get any use because I didn't customize it for that. Nothing happened where it would have been useful anyway though. Did you find it yet? Shifty comfort. I still need to check my cameras. There is only one camera that could have conceivably gotten anything, but skimming the audio waveforms I don't see anything out of the ordinary, so I doubt it. Sounds were possibly captured of it. Tracks were possibly found from it. But it depends on what it is. Did anything out of the ordinary occur? Cogrunlatus. In the groups I was with, nothing significant happened. But, other researchers reported some things. Evidence experiences found during expedition. Tracks were found in a spot where they had previous experiences, encounters. There are pictures of the print, a casting was made, and they are now cleaning the casting. Heavy steps, rocking, throwing, and stuff being messed with was reported by several researchers at our camp. There may have been recorders running by some of the researchers. Recorders were put up around the camp, not sure where exactly. These were assumedly running during the time of the experiences mentioned by the researchers. I recorded 360 video and spatial audio each time we went out squatching. I put food out and set up a 360 video, audio recorder deeper into the terrain, above and away from the camp. Possibly the audio recorder was running during the experiences reported by the researchers. Theories, beliefs of the researchers. I thought I would also share some of the theories expressed by researchers. The Reddit app isn't letting me update the post, so I'll have to do it on my computer tomorrow. I will be watching this and updating it, especially as I get more updates from the research group regarding our findings. Post from user OK Property 6878 at Reddit.